Welcome back to the Adventure Athletes podcast. Now, before we get into talking about the guest and getting into the podcast, I just wanted to share some things that's happening with Adventure Athletes right now. Now, for my coaching, there is currently a wait list, and I'm only accepting a few more coachees or athletes, I should say, in August. So if you want to be on that wait list and get in touch with me, then please just send me a message and I can add you to that wait list and we can have a chat about exactly what it is you're looking for from coaching, whether that's online or in person. There is limited availability, but I would love to work with more of you guys. So if you're interested in that, send me a message. But we have got plenty of sports massage slots open currently, so you can head over to the website adventureathletes.co.uk to book in with a sports massage. And then as well as that, we've got a few activity days coming up, like outdoor activity days. So this is going to be things like the Welsh Free Peaks, the National Free Peaks. We're looking at potentially doing some more outdoor climbing intro days. We're looking at doing some other things like potentially expanding to do the Welsh 3000s in sections, or doing like different hikes, different group hikes. Different outdoor activities basically. So if there's anything in particular that you guys are interested in, please send me a message and I'll be able to hopefully sort something out for you guys. This business is built on the needs of the people that are involved. So if there's things that you guys want to do, like, let me know and I'm happy to get involved and try and set it up as best I can, time permitting, obviously. Now getting into the podcast, I've got a amazing guest on. So I've got Paul Evans. I thought it was going to be quite hard to get him on, but I know him quite well. So, you know, I work my magic and I can get people on that don't necessarily feel comfortable doing this sort of thing, and I get them to feel comfortable. I don't know what it is about me, but that's how this podcast has made it this far, if I'm honest. Complete luck. But Paul is incredible. We specifically set up this podcast to talk about his Mumbles Ton, where he ran 100 miles back and forth down the promenade in the Mumbles, inspired by Jenks and his Barry Promenade 100. I went and supported Paul for a big chunk of this, and it was so incredible to be a part of such a special day for him. And yeah, seeing how he's coped afterwards, and there's like a few things that we get into, so it's definitely worth a listen, especially since he lays out an exclusive on what he's gonna do next. You're gonna want to hear this. It is gonna be amazing. He hasn't really told anyone about it, and I'm not even sure if he's told his partner about it, so we might be getting him on trouble on this podcast. But before we get into the podcast, here's a quick message from our supporters over at Soulmate.
We're Soulmate. Whether you're new to running or an experienced runner, we've got you covered for both road and trail, from shoes to nutrition to running poles and everything in between. Use code ADVENTURE10 both in-store or online for 10% off your order.
And now, let's get into the podcast, guys. What was your call to adventure?
Yeah. Well, obviously, because I've been watching your podcast, I knew this one was coming, and I'm still struggling with an answer. So, I don't know, really. I mean, so I've always, I think, in my 20s or whatever, you know, just wasting away. And I was like looking at pictures, and I'm like, I'm really fat. So I got to do something about this. So I started like climbing mountains and things. Then I moved to like rock climbing, but that didn't really take off. So I moved to cycling. And then I did that for about 8 years, and I kind of thought, you know, I was supposed to relax, isn't it, exercising. I was coming home just like really angry because, you know, what the roads are like. It's just horrific. So I thought, I can't be doing this. So then I switched to running, and then that's it. So, yeah, it's taken off since then, I suppose.
Yeah. When was that you started running?
So I moved to like Swansea in 2018, and a mate was living there, and he'd just signed up for the Swansea half. So I was like, do you know what? I've run a half for like 10 years or something. I can do that. So I thought, let's have a go.
Yeah.
And so I put like, I don't know, 4 or 5 months training in, and discovered my knees weren't as bad as I thought they were, because my old man's got like terrible knees. So I thought, great, you know, that's my future. But turns out, no, they were fine. So yeah, so that was 2018. Got quite into it. Then the following year, I did my first marathon. That was in like the summer, no, early, no, March or something. And then I was like, let's just do an ultra. So I did, yeah.
Straight away.
So I got home, I was like, yeah, let's do an ultra. So that was then in the October, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've given yourself like fair amounts of time to train, which isn't
Yeah.
very common with the guests on the podcast.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, I signed up for a half, didn't train, I did that, and then, yeah, ultra, like, the next week.
Yeah, but I mean, so that was 2019. But I've been really consistent with running, you know. So it's only last year, really, where I took it seriously, basically. It was always like feast or famine. You know, I do like a few months, get really fit, leave it for a while, and then you're starting from zero, you know. So
Yeah.
could never make that jump to like decent times and things. I was always just resetting every couple of months. So then I think that's why I got into trail running, because it's like, you know, just walk it.
Yeah.
No one cares. So you know, I was like, you know what, this is great. So,
Yeah.
but then last year I thought, right, I got some unfinished things to get sorted. So I wanted to get like a solid sub 2 half and a sub. So I did a marathon. I didn't train for it. So there you go. And that was like 5 hours, and I was like, that's terrible. You know, I look like an idiot here. I need to fix this. So I signed up for Manchester this year. So I was going to start the year training for like road stuff. And then I ran a target time in a training run. So I was like, so I spent like 100 quid on a race I don't want to run. And I've run a time that I wanted in a training run. So it's like, great. But yeah, so I ticked off like the half stuff. And then I had unfinished business with backyard. So I did a backyard, I can't remember, 2021 or something, down in Pembrokeshire. And it was bucketing down. And it was on this airstrip. And my little patch was like shin deep in water. So I was just like, guys, come on now. So after every loop, I was standing like in puddles of, you know, shin deep in water. So I was like, I can't do this all day. So my like head went, and I just went home. So I was like, right, I need to fix that, you know, because it was bugging me.
Yeah.
So then started this year, went to the Limitless one and did 12. So I was like, that's done. Very pleased. So
Yeah.
move on.
Awesome. Is that something you're going to go back to at all, backyards, or is that not your thing?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot more than I thought I would. The vibe was just great, you know, the atmosphere and stuff. So they're running it again in September, but starting in the evening. So I'm going back,
Okay.
and I'm fancying, well, 20 at least, and I'm tempted to go 24.
Yeah.
But who knows? I mean, is it doable? I don't know.
No, it's definitely doable.
It's the timing there, you know. I mean, you know, we did the. I don't know. Is it?
Yeah, 100%.
Is it?
When you think about like each lap, like say you do like 55 minutes a lap.
Yeah. Well, I was doing between 48 and I think 51 or 2 is my slowest,
Yeah.
and I like that, like about the 48, 49, because it was cold as well. So I was like, it was in January, so I mean, you don't want like 15 minutes waiting around in this freezing cold.
Yeah.
So that kind of 10 minutes worked for me. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. But I'll have a go. You know.
Yeah. If you manage to get to the 24,
Yeah.
are you gonna keep going, or is you just gonna be like, right now I've achieved my goal?
Um,
Happy.
No, I'd probably keep going now. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. That's the
Yeah.
answer I wanted.
Yeah.
I'm always curious to see, because like I've seen so many people where they're like, right, I want that goal of like 12,
Yeah.
20, 24. They get there and then it's like, oh, you're going to keep going? They're like, no, I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine doing that myself. Like that's where I get like really curious, is when I can't understand their thinking, because it's just not how I think.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, if I'd get there, then like, Why stop?
Yeah, I think it's like goal setting, isn't it? I'm quite a goal setter, so you know, so if I said like this one, I wanted 12, because it was like a revenge tour, you know. So it was
Yeah.
like, right, I've done 12, I've got nothing left to prove you, you know.
Yeah.
But now I've done it and thinking, well, yeah, I can do a lot more than this. So let's see
Yeah.
what happens, you know. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I get that. This year then, because I didn't even know about the backyard. You've done quite a lot. Like I just saw on your Instagram recently on your story where you was like all your
Yeah.
little Strava things, and I was just like, fucking hell, Paul. Like that is a lot that you've done in 1 year.
Yeah, I've done 8. What was it now? 8 ultras, I think. Yeah, 8. So,
How are you feeling after all of that?
terrible. Absolutely terrible, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just the last like few big events I put like so much pressure on myself to finish and
Yeah.
get it done. That I think mentally I'm just totally burnt out. But physically, you know, I've got a few niggles, nothing major I can't fix, but
Yeah.
mentally I'm just in bits, like, so yeah. Yeah, but I mean, I'll keep doing it. I'm not stopping. Like.
This is what I found funny was because like we was chatting the other day, and you was like, yeah, no, like I'm burnt out. Like I'll come support you for one lap of your tenny fan, but I'm not doing a lap. Like I'm in bits. And I was like, yeah, no worries, mate. And then like got past that, and then like 10 minutes later, you was like, I might actually run 30 miles tomorrow. Do you want to come? And I was just like, I thought you meant to be resting, mate.
I know, yeah, I can't help it. Like, yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's fun, innit? You know, it's like, cause I've got nothing else to do either. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, finish work at 5, you're at home. It's like, well, I could literally get an ultra done now this evening for a laugh, you know? It's like, why not, you know? Let's just do it. Fill your pack up with stuff, you know, an adventure, innit? You know?
Yeah, off you go. No, I'm with you on that, but like, I always get the same questions off everyone, so I got to ask them and just be like, why run an ultra in the evening? Like, you could do like a 5 or 10k, like you can still go out running, but like, why just be like, yeah, I fancy an ultra?
I mean, distances now, you know, it's just, I just need more now. It's like drugs or something, you know? It's like I was speaking to someone about like a marathon distance, and I don't even notice like when the 26 ticks over now. It's just like a number on the way to a bigger number. You know, the 26.2 is just isn't significant, you know, to me anymore.
Yeah.
So I think as soon as you tick over to the 30, it's like, right, that's like almost official ultra territory now, you know.
Yeah.
So there's my way. Right, I'll do a run. 26.2, right? People run to the start of a marathon, and then they'll run home and be like, right, 27 miles, I've done an ultra. Nah, not having that, like, no way. So I think, for me, it starts at like 30 miles.
Yeah. Or I always say like 50k because that is just shy of 30 miles.
Yeah.
But I work in Ks anyway, so like that makes more sense to me. So if I see someone's hit 50k, then I'm like, yeah, cool.
Yeah, 50k is fine, yeah.
Yeah.
I will accept.
But it's just having that nice round number. I've never liked how a marathon's like 26.2. Like, what? Why? No, don't do that.
Yeah.
30. Why isn't a marathon 30 miles? Like,
Yeah.
it's just not a nice number, is it?
Yeah, it's just, it's historic, isn't it, I think, and that's it now, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not doing Ks though, no way.
No.
No, this is like, you know, I ain't French. It's miles, I'm not having it, like, miles. I know people are like, yeah, but, you know, it ticks over quicker. It's like, so? You're going to get it in the end?
It makes me feel faster because when I see like 4-minute kilometers, I'm like, yeah, I'm rapid.
But I can never work it out though. I'm always like, what does that mean? What's a good like kilometre time? You know, I haven't got a clue. So,
But like, do you not think of like 5k, 10k?
yeah, it's 5k, 10k, 13.1, 26.2, and then probably 50k, and therefore 100k, and then just fill in the gaps the rest in miles. So I'm contradicting myself here, no, but yeah.
I do find it funny how like all the race distances are just so different, because like I was having this argument with Jenks because he's miles like through and through.
Yeah.
And we was just I can't. I'm just saying it again, guys. I've given Jenks another shout out. Like every episode, he gets a shout out. Oh, this isn't your podcast, Jenks. But like, yeah, we was chatting and we was talking about like the whole miles versus K thing, and I'm like, yeah, do it in kilometers. And then he was like, yeah, but like 100 miler. And I'm like, no, fair, 100 miles, because 161 kilometers sounds shit. But I was like, anything up to like 100 miles is kilometers to me. So like even like halves and marathons, like I know like 13.1's a half, but then I'll still do like 21k.
Yeah.
Or like for a marathon, I'm like 42k.
But I'd have to sit down, see, and work that out. I'd be like, hang on, what's that? It's like, oh right, marathon. You know, so
it's funny because I used to work in miles because that's what like Garmin and Strava like automatically set it to, and I just never bothered changing the settings. I was like, I don't care.
But then you stitch yourself up then, see. So like the Burnout 100k, that wasn't 100k, that was 66 miles, and I'm taking those 4 extra miles from that. You know, so I'm not leaving those on table because that was like horrific. So selling yourself short saying 100k there, you know. So.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, I think they just do it for the numbers, because like, yeah, like 100k is just a nice number compared to like the 60 odd miles.
Definitely, yeah. No,
like being like, I ran like 60 odd miles. Then it's like, oh, I ran 100k. Everyone's like, oh, that's a nice number. And I just find it funny how it's like so dependent on the race.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, this is 100k, but then this one's 100 miler. Like no one, even if it was the same company doing them, they wouldn't be like, right, this is 100k and then this one's 161k.
Yeah.
It would be like, this is 100k, this is 100 miles, and it's just like, well, where's the consistency?
That's like Britain for you, though, innit? You know, no one knows like weights and measures and distances all over the place. So I mean, I think that's like part of the charm, innit? You know, who cares? Like,
I'm gonna bring up this this thing then, because it links in. Like, do you weigh yourself in like kilograms or like stone?
Stone.
See, like that measurement baffles me. Like,
yeah, well, I haven't got a clue what it means, but then I don't know what a kilo is either. So I only know kilos from because I used to be obsessed about the weight of my bike when I was cycling.
Yeah.
So I knew like the UCI limit used to be like 6.8 kilos. So I used to like change, like even the bolts on my bike to like titanium and stuff, just to like knock some grams. It was totally stupid, like, you know. Just go on a diet and you'll be quicker, you know. But so I knew that was, so my bike was just over 7 kilos. So I had a visual then, and like example of what the actual weight to 7 kilos was.
Yeah.
So I can work it out from there.
Because obviously, like, I'm quite big into the gym as well.
Yeah.
And like in the gym, we use kilos, but then some people use pounds, and I'm like, that confuses the shit out of me. And then there's people that do their weights in kilos, but then weigh themselves in stone, and I'm like, again, where's the consistency? Like, pick one weight measurement or the other. Like, I just don't get it. I'm just gonna start doing ultras by yards now. Just because fuck it, why not?
By steps. 1 million steps or something.
Yeah. Just come up with my own measurement. Like, this is the length of like 7,000 horses. And everyone's like, what? I'm like, yeah, I've ran 7,000 horses today.
7,000 yard horse ultra or something. Yeah, there you go.
The adventure athletes events are going to be wild. Like, no one knows how far any event is. Probably just make them up on the spot as well. Oh. Right, so let's go through some of what you've achieved just this year, because like I was a bit blown away when I saw that. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, so last year was, well, you know, went really well. Did, I think, I don't know how many, 3 or 4 ultras maybe. Yeah, And then I did my first 50 miler in October last year, and I was like, do you know what? That wasn't bad. I thought, this is fine. I can do this. So I thought, right, I'll get 1,000 miles out of the way, and this year is just going to have it. So as soon as so Christmas week, I was like going wild trying to like hit the 1,000 miles, and then I haven't stopped since really. And yeah, so I designated 2025 as the year I'm just going to go wild and tear it up. So I did my first ultra, I think, the first weekend in January, and I was just like on my own. I ran with Jess for a bit from Rad Runners, so shout out to the Rad Runners crew. That was 30 miles around the Gower. And I think 2 weeks later I did the backyard. I think that was still January. So what else? Brecon to Cardiff I did. That was good. Well, no, it was terrible actually. Come to think of it, no, it was horrible. It was horrible.
I like how like the natural thing is like you do an ultra, they're actually awful, and then afterwards you gaslight yourself into thinking that they were fine because your natural reaction was like, yeah, that was a good race, and then you're like, what? No, it wasn't.
I just forget the misery, and then I'm just like, yeah, that was great. And then now you make me think about it, I'm remembering how miserable it was.
What made it miserable?
Well, that was freezing. So it was like standing outside Brecon, wherever it is, the theatre. I had this like snood thing on, like big jacket, and I was like shivering. So that was grim. The canal path, I was like running way too fast, and I was like, this isn't like me, I'll just give me a hill so I can slow down a bit. And then the hill isn't even that bad, it's like that 7 mile or whatever long road up to the beacons. But it's not even like a mountain, is it? It's just like gradual.
Yeah.
And it's downhill then, but it was on tarmac. So like, by the time I got to like Nankaro, my hips were just like bit. And I was like, I'm not doing that again. I should have done the extreme one, But then everyone was going on about the bog of doom, like waist deep bog. And I was thinking, I do not want to be in a bog in January. I got a whole year to go. So yeah. So I mean, it's like a good event. And you need it on like your CV, but I ain't doing it again. No way. No.
What came after that then?
Was it? Then I did another couple of like training ones. Was it the Hateful Eight? March 1st. That was it. It was that. Yeah. That was fun. Enjoyed that.
That was a good event.
It was good. And I don't know, the 8 mile loops seemed to like work quite nice, because I thought this is going to be horrible, but they actually went like quicker than like a 4 mile. It felt. I think the route was so nice.
It was a good route
And nice and varied, so you get a bit of like technical stuff.
and where he was reversing it as well.
Yeah,
I like that.
I like that as well. Yeah, bit of fire track, you can just like recover a bit, So
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that. But I did 4, which is like 34 miles or something. And I was like, I could do a 5th, but like stuff was like creaking, and I thought, I got big stuff coming up, so.
Yeah. That was where we met, wasn't it? Like, actually met in person.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Although you are in my video from the night maybe before Christmas.
Oh, am I?
Yeah. At the start. When we were doing the briefing. You're like...
Wait, was that where we met?
No, we didn't know each other then.
Okay.
But you're in my video basically. So
yeah.
Check my Instagram back out. And you're in...
I'm gonna have a look at that. Oh, I didn't realise. I can't even remember like how or when we started talking. It's just one of those things now. It was like we was talking on Instagram for a while. And then I remember Hateful Eight. It was me, you, and... Was it Carl or me, you, and Jenks chatting at the start?
Me with Jenks and Carl we were chatting to as well, yeah.
Yeah. We had a wicked chat then. And then after that, you posted about your Mumbles Ton. And then you came to a punks run.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yeah, I'll come support your Mumbles Ton.
Yeah.
So between...
There's been... What else has there been? Between the...
Hateful Eight and the Ton, what? I'm sure you've done something else in there.
I have, because that's only like 4, I think. Well, I haven't been far, because I only ran in like South Wales.
Yeah.
So what have I done?
I don't
See,
know.
this is my brain at the moment. Is like on the blink. I can't think.
Yeah.
Like my memory's gone terrible.
Maybe it'll come back to you. Let's go to the prom then, because like that was obviously like a big moment for you. And what I didn't realise was that was your first 100 miler.
Yeah,
When I was doing it with you, I didn't know. And then like at some point afterwards, he was like, "Yeah, like first buckle."
yeah.
And I was like, "That's your first 100." He was like, "Yeah." I was like, back and forth down the fucking promenade.
Well, I thought stupidly that would be like an easier way or a controlled way of like bagging a ton, because I was like traveling home from Tahiti. It was humble brag there, Tahiti, sorry. And I was like, I was just bored, and I thought, I wonder how far it is from like Verdi's to like down the prom. And I was like, oh, it goes to another cafe. It's only a mile. I thought, do that 50 times. There's your ton, man.
Yeah.
But it ain't easy. It was like ridiculously hard. So, yeah. And obviously, one original idea, you know. Jenks is the prom pioneer, so I messaged him and he's like, just do it. So I was like, okay. So, like, knocked up a logo, put it out, and that was it. No, you commit then. It's like
Yeah.
done. Once the logo's done, it's like, you can't back out now. But again, that was only 3 weeks, I think, after I'd done the Banai 100k. There you go. That was one of them. And I was just battered. So it's like, I really shouldn't have done it. You know, it was timing wise, it was just not good. So, but yeah, did it.
So what made you want to do it? Like, other than the fact that you're like, this is an easy 100, like, was there any other motivation behind it? Or was it like, no, I've just decided now?
I just thought it'd be like something to do. You know, it's like, why not? You know, it's like, book a weekend, park the car, base camp, you know, easy. Let's do it. It's really that simple. I didn't give it much thought at all.
Yeah. Because I always plan stuff and I think that, like, I say this to everyone, like, I plan stuff for work and I'm super organised.
Yeah.
I plan stuff for myself and I just don't plan anything.
Yeah.
And then, like, it'll be, like, the night before I go to the shops, buy, like, shit ton of
Yeah.
food. And then I end up overpacking because I'm just chucking everything
Yeah.
into a box and being like, I hope this is enough. Or I'll then massively underpack.
Yeah.
And then I turn up to your thing and you've literally just got, like, the boot of your car with some pasties in it.
Yeah.
And you're just like, yeah, that'll do for 100 miles.
Yeah.
And then just running.
Yeah. I mean, my ice box is full of stuff, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm just like super planner. I'll be like packing my kit for ultras like weeks before.
I have noticed.
And yeah, I'll do like 3 different drafts of like flat lays and stuff, you know, and it's like, right, what can I squeeze down? Sandwich bags, you know, that's the key for me. Stuff them in.
Yeah.
Not sandwiches, obviously, a kit. Yeah, so yeah, it drives people nuts because I'm just like, that's all I talk about. Everything's like spreadsheet. Because like, my work's like project management and stuff, so that just overflows then into my running, really, you know, so.
It just seemed like so on the cuff of just like, yeah, I'm just doing this. Like, it wasn't like, there wasn't a massive deal made about it.
No.
Like, you'd done a couple of posts. You had like a fair few people come out to support, to be fair.
Yeah, that was pretty overwhelming, really. I mean, yeah, it was like 17 people, I think, came down. I was just like, this is wild, you know.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, really grateful. Like, you know, I was really grateful for that. It's incredible, really. But yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome.
Yeah, because obviously I joined you. I wasn't there. How far in were you when I got there? I think.
What time did you get there? 5-ish.
Yeah, I think so.
So 3 hours. So
Yeah, it'd have been 4 or 5 o'clock-ish.
probably because we weren't hanging around at the start, so we're probably running, you know,
Yeah.
9-ish minute miles or something. I think, you know, that's not fast for, you know, I know, but for an ultra it is, you know.
Yeah.
So probably been like 20-ish, or I think, or just under.
Yeah. I honestly can't remember now. It feels like it was like forever ago.
I know,
but
it does.
also it feels like it was the other day.
Yeah.
It's one of those weird ones. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I remember getting there, did a couple with you, and then me, Rich and Jenks went to get fish and chips.
Yeah.
Came back, ate
Yeah.
that, started running again. And then I stayed for God knows how many hours.
Yeah.
But I was like in and out that time, and I was like, yeah, I've done 40 miles total here.
Yeah.
And up until I think it must have been like I got up to like the 70-mile mark ish with you before I then was like, I'm gonna have
Yeah.
a sleep. That was like what 2 a.m. I think.
Yeah, it
2
was,
3
yeah.
a.m. And you was just like, I was like, oh, I'm getting a bit tired here, and you was like, yeah, like go have a nap. I'm in good spirits.
Yeah.
And you were looking strong.
Yeah.
And then it was just he was like, I'll put my headphones in.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm only going to be gone for like an hour or two. And I felt fine doing it because you were looking that strong. I went to sleep. I wake up and you were like lying in the back of your car. And then Lee came out.
Yeah.
Then. That was my first time meeting Lee. We was having a chat, and then you came out of your car and you was just like, I feel fucked. I want to stop.
Yeah. I don't know what time that it was, but I was like falling asleep. Like, I must have been like 5-ish or something. And I was just like, I'm shattered here, you know. And I was like, and someone messaged me going, how was he going? You know, I was like, I'm hanging. And they're like, I was like, I might have a kip in the car. He's like, do something like 2 minutes, 20 minutes, or 2 hours.
Yeah.
And I was like, right, I'll try 20 minutes. And obviously, I'm in a Fiat 500, which is like a tiny thing. So I had like my legs up. So I slept for about 10 minutes. And I was like, Lee was like, mate, you're shivering. And I was just like, ugh. Yeah, I was hanging. I was like, I don't fancy this.
Yeah.
But then, fair play, he ran 2 laps me, I think, and he was chatting to me, obviously, to keep me, like, my mind off stuff. And by the time he'd finished, I was like, right, new day,
Yeah.
let's crack on. And yeah, I felt fine then, actually, yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say,
yeah.
like, after I left and I watched the videos, like, you did perk up a lot.
Yeah.
After that.
Yeah. And I had to, like, I think when I got to, like, 70-ish miles, I was like, right, I'm going to the shop, I'm getting an ice cream, I'm gonna, like, get some wipes and clean myself up, change my hat, you know, have a, like, nice refresh. So that was nice. That worked. So I had half an hour just, like, sitting in the sun. So that was good. That worked.
Yeah.
And I think I was still running at 80. I hit 82 and I was like, I think I'm done. So it was about death march from like 82 miles. Yeah, 18 miles. Yeah. And that took age. And people are messaging you and they're like, oh, not far now. Won't take long. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm walking. You know,
Yeah.
it's like I'm walking. 3 miles is going to take like an hour, you know, like 10 miles is going to take like 3 hours. You know, this isn't like,
Yeah.
this isn't normal running anymore, you know, we're way past that. So, yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was good.
Yeah. What was like your highlight from doing the ton?
Just like everyone coming down, you know, that Friday afternoon was great, you know, it was like a bit of a party atmosphere, you know, I was like, this is awesome, you know.
Yeah.
It's good fun. And you know, psychologically, I'm quite good with running. I can deal with like the bad bits quite well, I think, because you know, you always know in an hour or whatever, something will change. You know, it always does. You know, I'm experienced enough now to know something brighter will happen in an hour or so. Just keep pushing, like, you know, stick music on or a podcast or something,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden it's like, yeah. So like pushing through the night bit and the morning, and then obviously the afternoon on the Saturday was like lovely, you know, and then you just grind out the end.
Yeah.
But I was in a, you know, I could have gone on, you know, my head was like solid, my feet and my knees were holding me back, you know, but you know.
I mean, 100 miles back and forth on tarmac for a trail runner. I can't think of anything worse.
I know, yeah, I mean, Yeah, it's a stupid idea. Well, that was like the hashtag for me then on the day, stupid idea, and people were like, yep, yeah. I like the occasional stupid idea, but afterwards, people are sending me like stupid things like running around a lighthouse. It's like, guys, I really don't want to be known now as that guy who does runs around a garden or something,
Unlike Dan Morgan, who's like well up for it.
Yeah. He can take them all. I don't fancy it. I want to get back to some normal running.
Yeah. What I did like though is your idea about the different proms. I'll let you explain it because I can't take credit for
Yeah,
it.
so I was like, hang on. So we've got Barry sorted. I've just sorted out Mumbles. And I was like, where are the nice big proms? So I was thinking, well, Aberystwyth's on like the west coast, isn't it? Of Wales. So I thought, no, east coast. No, west.
Yeah,
West coast. And then I thought, right, Llandudno. I like Llandudno, a nice big prom. North Wales. We got the four corners, then Wales covered. Prom slam. Needs to be a thing. Someone needs to take ownership now of the other two. Stick them together. Awesome little challenge. I'll do the branding. Yeah, so I don't think there's been any takers, mind.
No, not yet.
I think people have watched and thought, nah, that's a stupid idea. Yeah.
So if anyone's listening and wants to run 100 miles back and forth down a promenade, you've got two to choose from, like Aberystwyth or Llandudno.
Yeah.
So, drop a comment and let us know you're doing it. We'll come down and support and do some branding for you.
Yeah. All you have to do is turn up. I'll sort everything else.
Yeah.
Do Llandudno though, it's much nicer.
How long are the proms? Because you figured that out as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I think Aberystwyth was half a mile, I think, from whatever that lift thing is to the pier. And Llandudno, you can stretch it to anything up to about 1.5 miles.
Okay.
Because it's really long prom. But you could easily just make it a mile. I think, I would just make it a mile really there.
Yeah. How long was the Barry one? The Jenks?
Oh, it's like 0.26 or something. So, yeah, it was just
So
horrific.
his was really short.
Yeah, really sure, yeah. Because he showed me when I went down and I was like, really? That's just not far. It's like I can literally see the end. I couldn't do that. That's way too many laps. I just thought a mile is kind of makes sense,
Yeah.
Or half a mile even would make sense.
Yeah. I think half a mile sounds like a good idea because then it's like you're doing 100 laps, not 100 lengths.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
I don't know why that sticks with me better.
Yeah. There you go, Aberystwyth then.
And doing that for your first 100, like Jenks did that for his second 100. But
I think I was just getting impatient and
didn't want to wait for an event. You're like, no, fuck this.
Yeah, I signed up again. I do these things on impulse. I get pissed off about stuff for no reason. So Christmas time, I got this IE thing before Christmas because I'm doing an MBA, and it was this finance module, and I was getting totally stressed out. So I got to cause myself to have a retinopathy. It's where fluid bulges under your retina. It makes your vision blurry. So I was speaking to the optician, and she was like, yeah, just try and relax, and I was like, so can I go for a run? And she's like, yeah, around the block, and it's fine. And I was like, yeah, that's not going to work. So, but I was I didn't want to mess around with my eyes, so I thought I'm actually going to listen to some advice for once. It's good advice. So I took a month off, missed an ultra, and then I was like, I'm really annoyed. I need to do something now to get revenge on somebody. So I think I was in Bristol in some hotel, and I woke up and I was like, do you know what, I'm going to book a 100 miler. So I did, and I thought, well, the Dragon 100, that's in July, and I thought, well, that's 7 months, it's that's plenty of time. So that was totally impulse purchase, because I was cheesed off by missing a month the last year. So I booked a 100 miler.
Yeah. And you didn't even get to that 100 miler before you decided to just do it on your own?
No, exactly. It's just do I want to do it? Yeah, of course I do. Yeah. I'm not even sure this one counts, because it's does it count? I don't know. It's
100% it counts.
doesn't feel that legit, you know, really, to me.
Why?
I don't know, because it's more like an adventure in running. So so the Burnout was an epic day out, you know. It's like, there was only like 60 people started there. I saw hardly anyone all day. So like 66 miles in the mountains, like alone. That's awesome, you know. That's like an adventure, looking after yourself, navigating, you know, loads of stuff to like manage. I like that, you know, race management when you're in it, stuff to deal with.
Yeah.
This just felt so controlled, you know. And, like, my car's there, and like sitting in the car, like changing my clothes. It's like, I can't do that when I'm in a storm up a mountain, you know.
I just see it as being like very similar to like backyard ultra format, where you do a lap
Yeah.
and you're back at your base,
Yeah.
and then you can do what you like there. Like, I had a tent when I did mine, and we had a blow up bed and boxes of food, and
See, I had a bench, so I didn't take it. I took a chair, and then I just had the end of a bench on a pavilion.
yeah.
So I didn't even have a tent. I didn't even have like a crew or nothing. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, but some people say like a backyard is its own thing as well, you know. And I kind of get that,
Yeah.
but I don't think that. I think that's therefore legit, you know.
I think the problem is probably more legit, to be honest, because it's just like that monotony of it all, and that it's like a real sense of discipline and commitment.
Yeah,
Because like, this is what the sort of trick is with the backyards, and they say never quit in camp.
yeah,
Like, you get to the coral at least,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
start the lap.
yeah,
Because that's the mind game that brings with like the backyard with it, is like, you go back to base and you get like a short break, and then it's like,
but
I
again,
gotta go
the
again.
pressure's on, isn't it? It's like, whatever time you get back, it's like, right, I got 12 minutes. What can I do in 12 minutes? You know, it's like, well, I've got a few extra minutes. I'm really sweaty. I'll change. It's like, oh, I've only got 8 minutes. Well, I'll prioritise having a bit of food or something, you know, something
Yeah.
quicker. But then you've got to be in that pen. You know, with me, it was like, well, I can go and sit in the car for half hour. You
Yeah.
know, I can go to like a co-op and buy a Calippo, which I did. You know, that's
But you
cheating,
can-
isn't it? That's
No,
cheating.
because
you know?
if you look at like Wild Horse, like Jenks and Hoppo just went and bought some bacon sarnies on
But
route.
again, that's 200 miles in it. That, like, all bets are off with that, I think. You know, it's like...
I think it's the same with 100 though.
But I could have gone down the pub, you know, and had like a meal, and then come back and then 3 more
You
laps.
say that, Dan does that every
No.
ultra. He did that at the Vogum. That's 40 miles, and he stops off at the pub and has a pint.
Yeah, that was it. That was my plan, actually. But, yeah, well, come on, I'll leave you on. Yeah, that was a total cock-up. But, yeah, does it? I don't know. I
think,
took it seriously, you know, I did.
yeah,
I definitely took it
100%
seriously.
did. And you 100% deserve that title of having done a 10. Like, it is legit and it counts.
Yeah,
And
well,
it brings its own sort of like challenges with it, and it's the pros and cons. Like, yes, you've got your car every other mile,
yeah,
and you can go to the shops and you can sit for however long you want, but then you're still going out and then coming back, and like, that's the hard bit, and you're on tarmac and it's just boring. And with like 100 miler, it's like, well, I've run away from this place 50 miles now. The route is 50 miles back. There's no cheat in that. Yes, you can stop at an aid station, but like, you've always got that. Like, if you're in between aid stations, like some of the aid stations for Wild Horse were like 20 miles apart,
yeah,
and it's like,
yeah, that sucks.
you're 10
yeah.
miles between it. It's not like you're just going to be like, right, I'm just going to sit here on this mountain and quit.
Yeah.
It's like, I at least have to get back to the aid station.
And that's not like 20 quick miles either. You
Yeah.
know, it's like you're looking like, what, like 8 hours potentially, you know, because when I was your dot watching, you're thinking, how fast are they going to end up there?
Yeah.
And it's like ages, you know. Yeah, if you're drinking out of rivers and stuff, you know.
Yeah, there's just like, every sort of challenge like that brings its own pros and cons. So like, I get where you're coming from, but like 100% it's legit. Like, if you talk to Jenks about it, because he's the only one with experience other than you, you ask him about it, and it's 100%. He's going to be like, yeah, that's 100 miler. Like, I think he'd rather do Epona again than do the prom again.
Yeah. Well, I'll see when I do this, if I get this one done,
Yeah.
how I feel. You know, maybe I'll be like, oh yeah, actually, that was legit. You know.
Yeah.
But it's like it took me like 24 hours moving, but like 29 hours overall. What was I doing like? Was I doing 5 hours?
You say that. My first 50k, my moving time was 7 hours. My actual time was 10 hours. So I spent 3 hours on a 50k not doing anything. So your
Yeah.
5 hours for 100 miles is like.
So what was I doing?
Just like in between each lap, you got to think like you're stopping at the car.
Yeah, I
Like
suppose,
maybe
yeah.
you wasn't sitting down, but like you stood there like having a chat with people coming
Yeah.
and going. You're like eating, getting changed.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
had that lie down. You went to the shop. Like
Yeah, the first bit was quite stop-start because like people coming down.
yeah,
So I suppose, you know,
and
that's
you're getting picked
10 minutes in there, and then they add up, don't they, I suppose. Yeah.
yeah. Over that long a period of time,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Whereas for me, I was just being lazy, and I was sat at each aid station for like half an hour plus, being like, I don't want to go again.
Yeah, I think that's something, I think when you first start, you tend to like waste a lot of time. So I think that's something I've tried to improve on is like, just get what you need, get out of there, you know. And now, sometimes I won't even stop. Like on my 50 last year, the final aid stop, I was like, I don't need anything. I'm just going, you know. So I'd say hello, just walk straight past, just get on with it. I mean, there's only like 8 miles to go. It's like I don't need to stop you, you know. Just get on with it, like.
Yeah.
So yeah. Then some people love it and they just sit down and soak it up, you know, which is fine. You know, that's fine. No
Yeah.
rules is there on ultra. Who cares? Like, you know, do whatever you want.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm definitely trying to work on spending less time at aid
Yeah.
stations. I've got a nasty habit of sitting down and then I get comfy. And I'm like, yeah, this is nice. Oh, look at all this food. It's a proper buffet. But then, like, when you see the guys that are winning it, like, because I went to Vogum, obviously,
Yeah.
and was doing it at Checkpoint 4. The guys that were winning it, like, they weren't stopping.
Yeah.
They, like, come in, like, maybe grabbed, like, a slice of watermelon,
Yeah.
ate it and fucked off.
Yeah.
And they're gone. And I'm like, have you done this every aid station? And it makes sense because they're going really fucking
Yeah.
quick. So,
Yeah.
but then you get other people that I saw coming in where they're like, yeah, no, I'm having a good, like, 20 minutes,
Yeah.
half hour here.
Yeah. Well, I was dying when I came into US on the program. Absolutely dying.
Let's go into the Vogum then, because, yeah, I want to hear about your pub plan that went wrong and everything.
It's my own fault, really, because I was waiting to sign up for it to see if I could iron out all these niggles, and I thought, I've never done a Pegasus. Everyone's like, come on, you've got to do a Pegasus event. Why haven't you done a Pegasus event? It's like, right, I'll sign up. Sold out, didn't it? So it's like, right, what am I going to do now? So Joe emails, what's his name?
Reese.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, please, we have 2 places, you know. And we crewed at Wild Horse, this, that, and the other. And he's like, yeah, no worries, here's a link. So it's like, oh, brilliant. So I was like, right, I'm just going to treat it as party pace, basically. Because I didn't have anything to train for. I thought I just want a nice, enjoyable day out on the coast. I was thinking the sun's going to be out, it'll be great. So I was taking a piss a bit. You know, calling it a program and stuff, you know, a party of Glamorgan. And then it kicked my ass then. So, you know, it's my own fault. So obviously the weather was terrible.
Yeah.
So we bucketed it down from the start, really. So obviously then I put my jacket over my vest. You're not drinking here then. You know, it's out of sight, out of mind. Soaking wet, not taking on enough fluid. Your food is like tucked away and I'm like, I can't be arsed.
Yeah.
Just take my coat off to get it. So my like fueling strategy was just awful. And then by the time we hit the nap, I was in bits. And I thought, I'm struggling here. I am struggling. So I was like, I need a can of Coke. And if there's none at checkpoint 4, I think my words were, someone's going to die. And but you got a message, because when I came in, someone was already pouring for me. So, yeah. And that did pick me up. So And it was muddy. I wasn't expecting the mud. Like I said, I was planning for like a summery day, you know,
Yeah.
on the coast. So yeah, me and my own fault. Terrible planning, really, and I took piss too much. And yeah, so I won't do that
Karma.
again. I won't. Do,
That's
yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, it's like stop getting so cocky and arrogant. You still, you know, still got stuff to learn. Behave yourself. So yeah, won't do it. Won't take the piss again. Promise.
I like that though, because that just shows people always assume that the longer distances you do, that the shorter distances are then easy,
Yeah.
and they're not.
Yeah.
Like you did 100 miles, and then you go to a 40 miler and you get your ass
Yeah.
kicked.
Basically, yeah.
And it's like, there's some times where like I'll turn up and do like a half marathon, like either a training run or an event or whatever, and it'll kick my ass. And everyone's like, you run ultras, Will. Like, this is a half. And I'm like, it's still running. You're still running hard. Like,
yeah.
it's got its own challenges.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think people should take the shorter ultras for granted at all.
No, because there's always something different. You know, you could run that now this weekend, and you probably blitz it. You know, because I've run that. I've done the 30-mile version of that last year in like 6 hours or something. You know, and I was like, you barely break a sweat some days, and you're like, that was easy. You know, I don't sound like cocky, but it was quite easy.
Yeah.
Because the conditions were like perfect. But then you get a bit of rain, a bit of wind. You know, ignore your feeding strategy, and then you're in a trouble. You know,
Yeah.
just like that. So it's always something to manage. You know, and yeah, that's why it's interesting. That's why I like doing it.
Yeah.
You know?
It's something I've been thinking about today, funnily enough, because did you see Rich's Instagram stories where he's talking about the slam?
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting. His little update this morning. Yeah.
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 Like the honesty behind it. And he brought up that good point of like, well, I'm doing the slam, like, you do this and then it's like, well, where does it end? Like, when do you stop increasing the miles? Like, when's enough? And like, he was like, I really struggled at the Vogum, and like a lot of people did.
Yeah.
And like, he's like, yeah, we've still got these other ones coming up, but he's thinking ahead to doing like 100 miles.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, why? He's really like thinking about it. Like, we all just get caught up in it, I feel. And it's like, well, yeah, I've done an ultra now. Like, oh, I've got to do 50 miles. I've got to do 100. Oh, I've done 100. I've got to do 200.
Yeah.
And he's actually taken the time to think, well, why do I want to do that? Like, am I just chasing this arbitrary number?
Yeah.
Or is this something like an actual desire in me that wants to do it? And I think a lot of us are just chasing the arbitrary number just because it's there.
And he was saying, you know, because he's met loads of people now who do like mad stuff, you know, is that pushing him to do more stuff? And this again, you know, for me, I just do it because I fancy it. I don't think I've ever seen someone do something and think, I need to do that now.
Yeah.
You know, I just do stuff because I fancy it, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, some people are different, and they see, I think, you know, that's the progression or whatever.
Yeah.
But is it? I mean, I don't know.
I mean, it definitely, for me, I definitely went down that sort of rabbit hole getting into it. Where it's like, oh, right, like I've done... Well, it was after the Rhythm, because that was the first ultra that I did where I was also doing this podcast properly.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, like I've done the Rhythm, and I've spoken to people that have done like the slam. Do I then need to do the slam?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, I do need to do the slam. Like, I have to. And then that progressed to being like, well, I can't get that much time off work. And instead of being happy with that and being like, yeah, like, I don't need to do it. Like, it would be nice to. It was then like, oh, well, I've got to do it in a week then. and then from there, it's like, well, if I do that in a week, then, like, I might as well sign up for a 100-miler. Because, like, I'd have done, like, 200 over 6 days. So, like, what's 100? Like, I have to, like...
Yeah.
And like follow the rules of it rather than making my own rules. And I did get caught up in that. And what I realised was the difference for me, like you're saying, like you want to do this stuff.
Yeah.
When Jenk suggested the slam in a week to me, I had that instant like light bulb, like,
yeah,
oh shit, like that seed is there.
Yeah.
I can feel it. Like I know when something sticks, and like straight away I was thinking about it and thinking the logistics, and I was like excited but scared. Whereas when Wild Horse happened, and straight afterwards, I've had probably 10 people at least message me being like, "Are you signing up for Wild Horse next year? You should definitely do Wild Horse." And they're like, "Oh, if you can do your 6 and 6, then like Wild Horse is the same."
Yeah.
And I'm like, I haven't done that yet for a start.
Yeah.
But I didn't have that click moment of like, shit, yeah, I've got to do this. Like I was expecting it. I was expecting someone to suggest it. Wasn't expecting 10 people, but I was suspecting some.
I was the same. People were like, "Oh, you're doing it," and so the Wednesday it started. Watching in the afternoon, I was like, yeah, I had massive FOMO. Like, you know, the weather was nice after the rain started, and I was like, everyone's looking fresh in there, you know, first day, and I was like, this looks awesome. And then I woke up and checked in, and I was like, oh, I think everyone had like a rough night because people were looking like in bits, and I was thinking, yeah, I don't fancy this.
Yeah.
And then as the week went on, or the days went on, I was like, I definitely don't fancy this. And then I paced for a bit through a storm over a mountain. That was grim, and I was like, don't fancy it. And then you know what's going to happen next, you know? I signed up for it. So yeah, there's your exclusive. So, and it wasn't my fault. So Jo messaged me and she's like, will you do the Wild Horse for me? And I was like, oh, it's like, this was I think Tuesday or something. And honestly, I was like, no interest in doing it. I had no interest seeing, because it's just so brutal.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, you know what? Why not? So I did. So I'm in.
There we go. Wild Horse next year.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I didn't get that click moment with it, so I'm not doing it.
Oh,
Because
okay,
even Joe was asking me. She was like, "Will you do it? Like, if I do it, you got to do it."
Yeah.
And I was just like, kind of did what you did, where I'm like, I'm in an hour and being like, oh, yeah, because I'll be doing it with them and like helping a friend out. And then I was just like, no, I don't fancy it.
Yeah.
So I've decided against it.
Yeah.
And that's surprised a lot of people because they're like, your will, like, we give you a challenge, you do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm just like, no, I don't want
fair
it.
enough. Yeah.
So I've been planning my next year's challenges anyway, so I'm in an hour and about them. I'm not going to take on as many as I've done this year, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, both of us have had quite a big year, and I think we're both starting to feel it now.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not even 6 months yet, you know. I ran 1,000 miles, or just over 1,000 miles last year. I'm nearly there.
Yeah.
You know, a couple more runs, I'm going to be at 1,000. And
Yeah.
I'm already way past my elevation from last year, in under 6 months. So, I mean,
Yeah.
and I am feeling it, yeah.
I hit the 1,000 on the weekend, 1,000
Nice.
miles.
Nice.
Or 1,610
No,
kilometres.
don't go there.
Yeah, and I think I'm at the same point as you now, where I'm like, yeah, no, this is starting to hurt a bit now.
Yeah.
And like mentally, you're just like, fucking hell, like, is it done yet?
My brain's like mush. I can't concentrate. Like just emotions like all over the place. You know, it's like, what's happening? I hate it.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get. So, after the ban night, I was like battered, absolutely like ruined. My knee was like, you know, football. My like feet were like busted up. I thought I've got to take some time off. So like that month actually, I didn't even do that much running. You know, it's like either massive events or nothing.
Yeah.
So like up until then, like training been like really consistent. You know, hitting like 200-mile months and stuff, like loads of it, really manageable as well. You know, no injuries. And then that and the prom, it's kind of like set me back a bit, you know. So I'm barely running 100 miles at the moment a month, and my vert's like way down. And I need to get back into that, like soon, or you know, I can't keep just doing massive events or sitting on my arse eating pizzas, like, you know.
Yeah.
So I think I can get away with it for probably another month or two, but after that I need to get more structured again, you know.
Yeah.
But then I gotta wait for all these bits to like fix themselves, or I'm gonna do more damage and be out for like months. You know, it's like such a balance,
Yeah.
and I think that's probably affected me as well. You know, in the head, in the back of my mind, thinking, panicking. Really, am I doing enough? You know,
Yeah.
it's got like big stuff coming up still. You know, I don't want to make an arse of myself and not finish 100 miler. You know, because I'd be gutted.
But are you making an ass of yourself by not finishing?
Yeah, in my head, probably. Yeah, I'd be like pretty annoyed
Yeah.
with myself. If it was like, you know, a health thing, or you fell down a cliff and you can't do it, fine. But if I like melt down because of my own fault, yeah, I'd be gutted.
Is that even considering like your niggles and trying to let your body recover from everything else you're doing?
Well, I'll just crush some painkillers, see it. Now, that is not medical advice, so ignore that. I didn't say that. So I'm just saying to myself at the moment, I got 6 weeks
Yeah.
to grind through, and then hopefully I can have a bit of an extended rest and reset.
Yeah.
But obviously, if everything hurts, I'm going to have to mask it, which is, you know, a terrible way to do stuff, obviously.
I've actually been having this chat with one of my clients because they've got a bit of an injury come up really close to one of their events, and they messaged me being like, "Look, I really want your opinion on this. I'm got this injury. Do you think I should do this event?"
Yeah,
And I was like, as your coach, I'm gonna say no,
Yeah.
don't do the event, because like your health, your fitness, everything like that comes first, and the event's not worth it. As your friend,
yeah,
I'm gonna say, how important is it to you? Like, how bad are you gonna feel with a DNS?
yeah,
Like, is this your big moment?
yeah,
Can you strap it up and push through? If it is that going to be better for you, even if you don't finish? Like, is that what's going to serve you best
Yeah.
at the time? Knowing that you've turned up and you've tried your best, but you can't push through this injury, or is it better to say, you know what, I'll defer till next year?
yeah,
And he was like, I really needed that as a friend, and I'm going to have to turn up and do it because he knows his head's going to go
yeah,
if he doesn't. And I'm like, cool, then as your friend, I'm supporting you with that. As a coach, you can't sue me because it's his friend's advice. So,
yeah,
but it's that balance, isn't it? Of
Yeah.
like, how important is this to me? Is this going to mess me up by not even showing up? Because I know the effects that, like, say I've done all my work for my 6 and 6. If I turn up like on the day and I'm like, oh, I got an injury, I can't do
Yeah.
it. I'm gonna implode.
yeah, yeah,
So it's like, I know that even if I turn up injured, I've got to try and run
yeah,
at least the first day. So yeah, it's that fine
Yeah.
decision, isn't it? And you're on that same bit as me by the sounds of things, of like, I want to turn up and do this 100-miler.
Oh, I'm not having a DNS, no way, like, you know.
Yeah.
Nah. And, you know, unless... So, saying that, I DNS'd the Celtic Trail because of the eye thing.
Yeah.
And basically they run in like 3-month cycles, so it clears up in about 3 months, but it can come back. And then when I was doing a ton of training in March, it came back, and I thought, sod this, I don't care, like, I can deal with one eye. And, one normal eye and one really blurry eye, I'll just push through. So I did. So then I'm thinking, well, I probably could have done it. But then I didn't know then if I was going to, like, go blind or something.
Yeah.
And that would have sucked. So again, it's, take a sensible decision or not.
Yeah.
I'll probably edge towards the not now. And just deal with it later.
Yeah. You'll see it a lot in, like, well, I noticed it from gymnastics, coaching where I take people to competitions and stuff, and you'd see it where they're like, them not running right towards the vault or something, and you're like, they've got an injury.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But they're like, it might be their qualification for like British Championships, or like their chance to impress someone to like potentially got on a national team to go to Commonwealths or something. And it's like, for them, like, that achievement's going to be more than
Yeah.
the setback that the injury's given them. So it's just managing that, and it's really weird dynamic to see, because, you know, we've got self-preservation as humans, or we should do. And it's like we're trying to like look after ourselves as much as possible, and we're just throwing that out the window because we're like, yeah, we want to run 100 miles. Like,
Yeah, I don't think I've got much of self-preservation going on at the moment. Like, I just don't care really.
yeah.
Just do it. It's more fun, innit? Just get on with it, you know? Get on with it. Stop moaning. Get on with it.
Fair play. It's just I'm like really fascinated by this topic, because where does that come from? Like, where's it gonna lead as well?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't got any kind of like ambitions, you know. I think a bucket list would be a race in America for me, you know. So I love, like, I go to America loads. I love it. Like a 100-miler in California would be class, you know.
Yeah.
That's what I would like to do at some point.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be one of the big ones, you know. One of the, you know my saying, you know, to keep ultra running grassroots, you know.
Yeah.
I'll do a little one that some guys organised, you know.
Yeah.
You know, I don't like these big ones, so...
You could do the 200 miler that Waldorf has partnered with. The Divide.
Mm,
That's a good one.
yeah. Yeah.
See, I'm already edging you towards another 200. You haven't even done
No, I
one
haven't
yet.
done one yet, no. No.
Doing both next year, why not?
And I mean, you know, is it doable? It's obviously doable, because I've seen people do it. You know,
Dan.
you know. But
He's
it's
doing
like,
the slam with the hundreds, with the 200s. It's just like, what?
yeah, that's...
How can you
fair
do
play.
all of that in a year?
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'll focus... Well, it's April, isn't it, next year, Wild Horse? That's nice, kind of them, 'cause it might snow. Yeah, so let's hope next April will be a sunny month, because otherwise I can't even think of, like, bad weather on that.
Some people prefer the rain.
Nah.
I think they're psychos.
Yeah, nah. I like it hot, to be honest, and people are like, what? No, give me the sun, like, all day. I love it. Because it makes me happier as well. So, like, I just love the sun. So if it's sunny, it don't matter what mood I'm in, there'll always be a little bit of happiness there, you know?
Yeah.
So,
I don't mind like a bit of light rain, bit of mist. Torrential rain, I'm just like fucking.
it's grim, innit? Yeah. Sideways.
But we have moments, because obviously I did Tenafan like a couple of days ago
Yeah.
with George, and George is there being like, yeah, I'd rather it be like this, when it was like pissing down. He was like, I'd rather it be like this than too hot.
Oh, no.
And me and Rose are just there like, what?
Nah, no way. Nah, horrible.
Like, I don't deal well with the heat. I get heat stroke really bad.
Oh, that's been happening to me. So the last two big runs I've done, I've been, like, got home, and I'm like, oh, I don't really feel good here, you know, and I'm burning up. And my hearing goes funny, like a ringing in the ears. And then, like, wake up in the night then, you're, like, drenched. And I'm like, I've got heat stroke here. You know, and you're shivering, you're shivering, like. And you think you should probably then not be sleeping under, like, a quilt, because you're freezing.
Yeah.
So that's happened to me twice, so I'm going to have to, like, consider that going forward, I think.
I've still not learnt from it. I still get it all the time.
Yeah.
But I'm very, very much prone to it, so it's something I should really plan for.
What is it, though? Suntan lotion and a big hat.
Keeping a hat on is good. Hydration,
Long sleeves, I suppose, is it?
electrolytes. I think last time I'd overdone the electrolytes, just because I was preferring the taste of that to
Yeah.
the water. So I was
Yeah,
drinking
right.
way more electrolytes than water. But then that goes the other way then. Like, you've got too much salt in your body, so
Yeah.
then you can't take the water on properly. And you still get the dehydration. And it's like, well, how do I win? You do
Yeah.
need that balance. But yeah, I was just doing it for the taste because it's lemon sherbet flavoured, my one, and I love lemon
Oh, nice.
sherbet.
Yeah,
so
nice.
water just doesn't taste right after drinking lemon
Yeah,
sherbet
nice.
for miles. Stupid, really. But yeah, there's like little things like that. In the fire service, what we used to do is when we'd come out of a burning building, we'd have ice bucket, like
Right.
water, just dip your wrists in.
Yeah,
And
nice.
that cools your core body temperature down loads, and it's like such an easy thing to do.
Mm.
Just
Yeah.
little things like that.
Nice. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
how do you do that on an ultra?
Yeah. Stick her in the river, innit? If you can, I suppose.
Yeah, there's that.
Yeah.
So what's next then? I know you said you've got the 100 miler coming up. Have you got anything between now and then?
Pigham.
Pigham, nice.
Pigham. No other names, just the Pigham.
Okay.
I'm not partying there. So yeah, Pigham, and then I got 2 weeks till 100.
Okay.
And then after that, backyard in September, so obviously I'm going to fill it with something, but I don't know what yet.
Yeah.
So I'll wait and see. Yeah.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
still quite a stacked calendar, to be fair. Like Pigham is punchy
Yeah.
for a 50k.
Yeah.
Like it definitely is. You're like, it's a 30 miler. Well, it's not a 50k.
Yeah.
So that's quite punchy. And then obviously 100 miler, no matter what 100 miler it is, like it's 100 miles.
Yeah, it's
That's
going
going to be hard.
So
And
it's
then
from
backyard.
Scilly to Cardiff Bay, and I mean, it's 10,000-ish feet, I think. Which, you know, isn't too bad. Still a lot. But that's kind of goes with my training. I'm always like well over 100 feet per mile
Yeah.
anyway, so it kind of like should be fine. God. I'm crying now in the middle of the Avon Valley at 4 in the morning or something. So yeah, so I don't know. Again, you know, I've run 100 miles, but then this is going to be totally different, you know.
Yeah.
So,
When is that 100 miler?
July 19th.
There's so many events that day. So many. Like every time I talk to someone, they're like, "Oh yeah, like this event's that day," because I'm doing the dusk till dawn that day.
Yeah,
the
that's
overnight
right.
one.
Yeah.
I know there's like quite a big fell race on that day as well, and there's loads of events that day. I wonder what's so special about that day. Gotta be something.
Yeah.
Everyone's just like, "Yep, cool, no."
19th.
July 19th.
Stick it in. Yeah. Yeah.
I was gonna say if I wasn't doing that, I'd have come crude you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I haven't even like looked really at where stuff is at the moment because I've had so much on.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I mean, I think like you go into the Avon Valley maybe around 40, 50-ish miles or something, 50-ish miles perhaps. So like, I don't know, how long is 50 going to take me, you know? Am I going to be like purposely running slower
Yeah.
to make sure I get to the end? Or should I run a bit quick and bag some time, you know? Which I'm thinking I'll probably do that. Because you're going to be wrecked anyway, you know? It's like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to be running at the end. So if I run a bit quicker at the start, saving energy ain't going to make any difference, I don't think. So
Fair.
I'm going to try and bag as much time as I can. Because obviously I've only got a 34-hour limit.
Okay.
So, you know, it might be tight. That might be tight,
Yeah.
you know?
That'll be good.
Yes. Yeah, I'm looking forward. I always look forward. You know? And the only one I didn't look forward to was the band night. I was really super nervous. And because I like committed to it. And then I was like, probably a bit like imposter syndrome, you know? Because I was like, there's only 60 people doing this. It's like, why am I like one of these guys? You know, it's like, I haven't got no right to be on the start line of this thing, like, you know? But it was fine. And it turns out, only 45% finished it anyway. So, like, I was in, like, the top 30 people. So I was fine. So I just outlasted people, you know?
Yeah.
I didn't, like, pass anyone. I just, like, outlasted the day.
But that's the thing about ultras. That's the quality that gets you through them. Because it's not about speed. It's
Nah.
like you're saying, no one cares how fast you're going. Unless you're going for a podium,
Yeah.
then it doesn't matter how
No.
fast you go in. Like, go as fast as the cut-offs, yeah. But, like...
Yeah, I don't. That's the one thing that probably pushed me away from like road stuff. It's like you run a half marathon or a marathon, and everyone's like, "Oh, how fast you do it?" It's like, I've just run a marathon. Gives a shit, like, you know. It's like, give me a break, like.
Yeah.
And I was like, just obsessed with like numbers and stuff, and then. So I wanted to like run a solid half marathon last year just to like put that to bed and retire from road running. So I ran like a 1:48 at Swansea, and I was like, do you know what? I'm well happy with that. That'll do. Then I was thinking, if you wanted to get to like 1:35 or something, or like an hour and a half, the amount of work you'd have to put in just to knock off, you know, a very small amount of time, it's just not worth it, you know? So the cost benefit is just not there for me.
Yeah.
So I was like, 1:48, 1:30, whatever. Who cares, like, you know, who cares?
Yeah.
Just run ultras instead. Take 12 hours.
It is always that thing of, like... If, like you're saying, when you run halves or marathons... Oh, what was your time?
Yeah.
Whereas you run an ultra and it was like, oh, what was the distance?
Yeah, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
no one's looking at 100 miles and being like, yeah, what was your time?
And it's like,
They're just like,
yeah.
you ran that far? And it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I did.
and it's the experience, isn't it? You know, it's like, what happened on that 100, you know?
Yeah.
Rather than how quick you did it, you know, it's stupid.
'Cause I remember the first half I did, I got asked, oh, well, did you win? Did I? Fuck.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, how am I going to win that? Like, I'm running against, like, Kipchoge. Like, yeah, no, I'll just beat them.
Blast past, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and like, you know, splits and that's like, oh, what? What's that? So, I don't know. I don't know what you're on about. You know? Just like grinding through the day, you know, just like, just keep it moving, you know? Doesn't matter how, like, slow. I think that's the key, really, to getting through, like, brutal days, is just keep going, like, you know? Just keep moving forward.
Yeah.
Minimise your time at the aid stations and just, like, you know, get it done, like.
This has brought me into, like, a bit of a headspace that where I want to ask about your opinion on getting a medal at a half marathon. Because everyone gets a medal.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You should,
Yeah.
you think? Okay.
Oh, medals are awesome. If, like, there's an event without a medal, I ain't doing it. I want a medal, like.
Yeah. Because I know this comes a lot from my dad. I don't think you should.
No, that's harsh. No.
Get a t-shirt, yeah, or a buff or something. Medal, that's what winners get. Top 3, they're the medals.
Nah, no. Well, they can have their own unique little gold ones or whatever. Gold, silver and bronze, can't they? And then everyone else gets what's like school, is it? Like, well done for
Yeah,
participating.
it's just patronising. Like, oh, you tried.
Yeah,
Off.
you tried. No.
But then for ultras, I see it as different. But that's my mind with the time thing, of like, you do a half, you do a marathon, you're racing.
Yeah.
You do an ultra, and it's
Surviving.
you versus the course. So by finishing, you've earned the medal. Whereas I don't think like you've earned, like doing a 5K and getting a medal. I'm like, come on now, it's getting a bit silly.
You need to write to like UK Athletics or something. Put your case forward about no
I'm like,
medals at 5Ks.
Do you get a 5K at a park run? Do you get a medal at a park run? That's 5K.
Nah, but you build up to one of them silly little t-shirts then, you know. Like I've done 25 park runs. So, yeah, 25. What's that? Is that should you get a t-shirt then for 25 park runs? Is that like a milestone?
No.
No, I don't think so.
But like,
And I'm not I do the occasional park run. I'm not slagging park run off. It's fine.
yeah, no, I'm not slagging park run off either.
Yeah,
But I just find it funny because like we're talking as ultra runners, and it's like I'll be doing an ultra and I'll be like, yeah, it's just 10 park runs.
Yeah.
And I'm breaking it down
Yeah.
like that. Like, it's just 10 park runs.
yeah.
Yes. I've got 5 park runs left. I can do that. And then I'm like thinking about it now, and I must sound like such a prick. So for those of you that like do park runs and you don't do ultras, like, I was gonna say I apologise. I don't really, but like I'm not slagging you off. I'm not like, yeah, it's nothing.
Yeah, no,
because it is.
not me. Don't criticize me either. You know, don't go on my Instagram and like give me hate.
No, 100%. If you're gonna give hate, like, this is me fucking instigating this. 100%. And I'm not saying like park run's not an achievement or anything, but we can talk from our perspective. And I like, obviously as a coach, if someone comes to me and they want to do their first 5k, they want to go do a park run, I'm so there for it, and I think it's amazing.
Yeah. And you know, when I'm out and about, like if I'm in a hotel, I'll have a look if there's a park run on the morning and go and do it. You know, that's quite cool. Like, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, I've got nothing against park run. There you go.
Yeah. Nothing against it.
Except the 25 t-shirt. That's just like, that's lame.
But it is just like that level of like achievement, I guess. Like, probably before I did a 5k, I would have turned up to a 5k and been like, yeah, I'd love a medal.
Yeah.
Whereas now I'm like, have I really earned it? Because like my short runs are like 10k.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like if I turned up and did a 5k, I don't think I'd want a medal. I think I'd just feel a bit like, well done.
Just give it back in disgust. Like.
Try and hand it to me, just spit on it. Like, I don't want your dirty medal.
Yeah.
No, I'm not that bad. I clearly take them because the cameras can't see, but you can see. Like, I've got all my medals there.
Yeah, mine are boxed up.
Well, mine were, and then they were just taking up. Well, I say boxed up; they were in my safe, and they were just taking up space in my safe.
Yeah.
So I was like, I need to get them out, but then where do I put them? So I bought that specifically for them.
Yeah.
Um,
I used to have them hanging on a shelf. And there were so many, I started to like lean. And I thought, yeah, this can fall over. So I got this beer box, and it's like in 4 sections. So I like chopped the top off. So it's like 5Ks and 10Ks. Halves and like anything up to like 20 miles or something. Then like marathons and 20 milers. And then a little section then for all my ultras. So you can like actually look in, you know, they're all like neatly in. So quite I like it, yeah. I think it's about 2 kilos in weight, that box.
Nice.
So, yeah, you could probably like smelt them down for a few quid, you know. If times get tough, I'll be like selling my medals for cash for...
Well, not with the state that medals are in now. Like, they're mostly wood
No,
now.
that's true, yeah.
Can't even smelt them down, you'll just burn it.
Just wood.
Use it for fire. There you go.
There you go, yeah.
If you can't afford heating, start burning your medals.
When the world ends, we can just burn our wooden medals. Yeah, nice.
Some of them are quite, like, some medals, like, I've got some pretty hefty metal medals. Like, we're talking apocalypse now, like, smelt some down. You got some that are just like weapons and then you got some for fuel. There you go, nice little collection. This is why you should be running races, guys, preparing for the apocalypse. Not just physically, but for the medals. I don't even know how we got on to that.
No.
Oh. Alright, so you got those 3 big events this year, and you've announced you're doing Wild Horse next
Wild
year.
Horse is done, it's happening. It's happening, yeah.
How are you feeling for that? Or are you just avoiding it until it comes to it?
No, I'm kind of like thinking, really, and I mean, obviously when I start, that's going out the window.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking, looking at people who did it, I would definitely like to take advantage of sleeping. So anytime I can, I'm going to try and like, you know, get my head down, basically. I think that's probably going to be key. And then focus really on like 50-mile days, you know. I think that's how I'm breaking it down.
Yeah.
Visually before going into it. Obviously it'll start and it'll go to shit very soon. I'll have to think of a new plan, but you know. So that's the plan. 50-mile days with hour sleeps when you can.
Yeah.
And even if you don't fancy it, it's like I'm just gonna make myself lie down, you know, and and try and sleep. So yeah,
Wicked. I'm excited to see how it all goes, and
Yeah.
I'll be there supporting either in person or
yeah,
via message when I can't make it. But-
yeah. So I was looking at the route, and I think I've run 96 miles of it already. So I just need to I don't know. Some people like to recce, don't they? I mean,
Chris did a whole thing where he had a map.
yeah, I saw
He'd
that.
marked it
Yeah,
out, and he was like covering sections, being like, "I've done that, done that." That was pretty cool.
I should probably ask if it was worth doing, really.
Yeah, that'd be a
'Cause I
good
don't
chat
know,
to
you know.
have.
So the
I would-
second half is pretty much covered,
Yeah,
but the first I don't know, it's twisty in there around like the Black Mountains.
yeah,
It's not an area I'm particularly familiar with. So yeah, I'll have to speak to some people and see if recceing was what. Then you don't want to recce a bit and be like, this is gonna suck, and have that in your head then all day thinking, I've got the worst bit coming, you know, because that's just gonna be depressing.
yeah.
I'd rather just be surprised and deal with it then in the moment, you know, rather than
There are a few bits because I paced the section. There are a few bits where I was like, we'd got like a little bit lost,
yeah,
and if we'd recce'd it, well, I say we, like I obviously wasn't part of that, but like I can imagine if you've recce'd it like a couple of times, like you'd be more confident in like,
yeah,
right, that's where I'm going.
Yeah.
Like this is the bit that's confusing. I know I need to go that way.
yeah. The confidence thing is like really important. I think when you start a race, if that's one less thing you need to consider,
Yeah,
then that's great, you know, because like your brain's got more power then to deal with other stuff.
yeah. But then
So-
when you're like 150 miles deep, your brain's not functioning properly, then it's like you'll still get to that point and get confused.
I think that's when you need your paces then, isn't it? Just to like
Yeah,
come in and, you know, that's what they for, isn't it? People think, you know, pacing isn't pacing is to make sure you don't do anything stupid, you know.
yeah.
When
Make
you
sure
when
you're
you wreck,
like fitting well.
yeah. Like I was like hand feeding Jenks Freddos because, you know, we were like 160 odd miles. It was like, just eat it, you know. You haven't eaten for like half an hour, just shove it in, you know. So that's what I want people to do for me. Shove Freddos in me. Oh,
I'm
I'm
gonna
cool.
clip just that bit.
Shove
Freddos in
Shove
me.
Freddos in me and make sure there's Coke on tap constantly. Because I don't even drink it usually. But then when I'm running,
Everyone's been saying the same.
It's like-
I don't drink
I
Coke.
physically, like, I can feel my body going like, where's the Coke? And like almost getting like violent when it, you know, I just need it.
Yeah,
And then it's great, and you have it, and it's like, oh, that really worked.
yeah.
It's weird. Yeah.
No, that's gonna be awesome. I can't wait to see it all.
Yes, I've got no time. I mean, you got 5 days, haven't you? So it's just like, well, if I've got 5 days, that's fine. You know,
Yeah,
I'll figure it out. Yeah. Yeah, it'd be awesome. Can't wait.
yeah. I would say like obviously talk to Jenks about it. 'Cause
Yeah.
he's done it. Talk to Chris about the whole recceing
Yeah.
and how worth it is. I would talk to Luke Merritt as well.
Yeah.
Like I know he DNF'd, but like his knowledge on this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And like the amount of prep that he does,
Yeah.
incredible. So like he's worth a chat, I would say.
Nice. Yeah.
And then yeah, just anyone else that you know that's done it. As many people as you can, I
yeah,
guess.
therefore.
But then you could probably get overwhelmed with different opinions. So yeah, I don't know. Don't know how I'd approach it. This is why I do challenges that no one's done, because I can't get too in my own head.
Yeah.
Like being like, oh well, they did it this way and they did it that way. Like, what's better? I'm like, oh, no one's done it. Just fucking turn up and
Yeah.
go.
Well, I'm just pushing through, you know. So, like, the last few years, I haven't taken running that seriously. Like, come October, it's like, right, I'm done for the year. You know, I take 2 months off, get fat and unfit. And then you start in from, you know, January then is like year zero again.
Yeah.
But I don't stop now, basically. So it's like training's like started, you know.
Yeah.
So just because you tick into 2026, gotta think then. See, doesn't mean anything changes, you know. It's like it's just the same line
Yeah.
of training and whatever. You know, it's gonna be lots of miles, lots of vert. I'll just keep going, like. So
Yeah.
yeah, we'll see.
Awesome. Well, like I said, I can't wait to see how you do with it all, and I'll be there cheering you on.
Oh, it's going to be a nightmare. But it'll be fun, won't it? It'll be an adventure. So, yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you for your time, and yeah, I'll let you get on. Thanks for listening, guys. Now, just before you go, I wanted to share a bit more about what I'm doing with my 6 and 6 challenge. When this podcast is released, it'll only be 4 weeks out, 1 month away from running 230 miles in a week. Honestly, I don't know if I'm ready to be doing this. I don't feel ready. I'm actually struggling quite a lot with the anxiety around it, especially with all the support that I'm getting. I'm feeling the pressure, and I know I shouldn't be, because this is my challenge and it's something that I need to deal with. But there's a lot that goes on with me and my mental health, which is why I'm supporting Sport in Mind, who use sport as a tool for helping people through with their mental health and building a community around it, which, as you guys know, is a massive factor in me helping myself with my mental health, having that community around me. So yeah, I'm going to share a clip of me talking a bit more about my challenge, so if you want to stay and listen to that, I'd really appreciate it, and any donations are welcome. We're trying to raise £6,069 for the charity, which is the equivalent of £1 for every life lost to suicide in England and Wales in 2023. Hi, my name's Will, and I'm going to be running 6 ultramarathons over 6 consecutive days, and I'm doing this to raise money and awareness for Sport in Mind. Now, this challenge is really going to push me to my limits. I'm going to be running over 230 miles with over 8,000 metres of elevation across the 6 days. I've never done anything like this before. Something that's really helped me with my mental health, not only through physical activity, but it's been the community that it's brought with me. So at the start of 2020, I was made homeless. I slept on a mixture of the streets and my fire service sofas for a period of about 6 months. Now, when I did finally find somewhere to live, I broke my ankle, and I spent the next 6 months not able to put my foot on the floor. And after that, I had to relearn to walk, run, and complete any sort of physical activity again. This was a massive hit to my confidence and my mental health, and unfortunately it led me to suicidal tendencies and ideation. So I really do believe in what Sport in Mind are doing. The fact that they embody both the things that I believe in, which is sport to improve your mental health, and building community and safe spaces for people to not just talk about their mental health, but feel a part of something, know that they're not alone. And that honestly can be one of the biggest factors in improving someone's mental health. Now, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get more support and awareness around my challenge. If you'd be able to support in any way possible, please reach out to me. I'd really love to hear from you. Thanks again for listening to the podcast, guys, and I will see you next Wednesday.